Alrighty, hello everyone, welcome to Sinful Gaming. I'm just adjusting the screen a little so you can all jump down and hobby. Hope you're all doing well, hope everyone's staying safe, and most of all, hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. If you're joining us, we're continuing on the grind of painting some Wildwood Ranges up. But let us know what you've been hobbying on lately. I'd love to see what everyone is hobbying on as I slowly grind through these 50 models. We're getting there. We are getting there. We've got two colors down. But yeah, it should be two most major colors down now. Just fun. Life's just been a bit of turmoil lately. I've not been able to get on and do as many hobby hangouts as I would like to be doing, but we're here tonight, finally on one of these properly. So if you're joining us, let us know what you've been hobbying on lately. So slowly making our way through these. I'm probably going to be painting some more Cities of Sigma and some Lumineth soon because Broken Realms Techless has just dropped and given us a nice new city to play around with. So I'll be jumping all over that fun. Yeah. Hey, Nick, nice to see you there, mate. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope to finally see you in store with some models painted soon, buddy. Just grinding through these Wildwood Ranges at the moment. What have you been hobbying up to lately? Yeah, we're just slowly getting all this on our next sort of stage, doing like their what would you call it, tunics? Nice, some Lumineth Wardens and Bloodrock Medusa. Very, I guess, on the with the times there. I can't wait to pick up. I've ordered one of everything for the new Lumineth release, so look forward to getting a bunch of it on the table and painted. Just slowly working on these wildwood ranges. And once they're done, we'll be able to move on to the other parts of the army. I've got the Eternal Guard done by basing already. I painted some Eternal Guard in the scheme ages ago. So they're all ready to go. So I've got my 10 Wild Riders, and then I've just got the 2 Tree Lords and a Nomad Prince to go after that to finish up. Nice. Yeah. I'm excited for all the new stuff. Rules and all that started dropping, but we'll wait. I should have a review up for the new Luminous stuff next week. What do you want to get from the new releases? What models have struck your eye? Really looking forward. I think out of all the new stuff, I think the Caligrave is my favorite model. That's not the terrain piece. I really dig that terrain piece. I think the terrain piece is amazing. Probably one of the best terrain pieces they've made. Nice. Yeah, those twins are cool because they can be sort of like used in any order army. So if you got other things on the go as well, they're like a cool pickup. Yeah. Put it this way, I got one of everything, and that includes both books though, because I want Teclis for the lore and the other city stuff and all that, but I also just want to carry one book when I go play my army. So I got both books, both the new Lumineth book and Teclis. But that came to about $1,000 Australian for everything. So take out 2 books, it's probably closer to 800 for one of everything that's coming out. That's generally that's sorry. The characters are all about 45 to 55, I think, except the Regent. He's a bit more expensive. I think the Rue Riders are the most expensive kit in Australian. The Fox Spirit's actually quite a bit cheaper than I thought it was. I'm pretty sure he's only like $90. Which is pricey, but definitely cheaper than I thought he was going to be. Just expressions of interest at the moment. If you want to get something, maybe go in store and have a chat. I might be able to either hold some stock aside for you. So no pre-orders have been taken already. Merely expressions of interest. The store needs to know how much it should order. If lots of people like the army, they'll probably order a bit more. So if you're interested in stuff, I'd just go say, hey, look, like I'm interested in a few things. Oh, it finally snapped that banner. Been wondering when that was going to happen. Let's take a slight little detour from what we're doing. Apply a little bit of glue to this. Set that banner nice and straight. I dropped him the other day and thought he was going to break at some point. It's always worth, if you're wanting something from your local game store, to maybe just tell them like, oh, I've seen this is coming out, and maybe just mention that like, yeah, I'd like to grab a few things from it. That way your game store knows what to order. Like, to say, if none of the local community, if a release comes out and none of the local community say anything about that release, as a game store owner, all you're going to think is, well, do you ever have this release that's coming out and no one has said anything? All the local game store is going to do is go, well, maybe no one's that interested, so they might play it safe on their orders. Or if you really, really want something and like, GW have announced this is coming out, there's no problem with going, like, they're not legally allowed to take money from you in any way, because they may not get allotted. Although, that's how we end up with, like, PlayStation 5 issues. But they can like go, well, cool, I've got 6 players in my local area that are really interested in this army. I can put down a decent order for it. But anyway, yeah, I'm really excited for all the new stuff from Broken Realms. Like, everything looks really fun and cool. Yeah. Anyone else in the chat, if you're there, let us know what you're working on. What hobby you've been doing lately. Love to hear what everyone's doing, and shout out where you're hobbying along from, wherever that may be. Yeah, like, I hope not too soon. Give me enough time to paint. I mean, I haven't even painted my original Lumineth. I got 3 of the original boxes plus a Stone Mage and the Calathar, and I've not painted any of it yet. So probably once I've got this project out of the way, we might start cracking into some Lumineth. I've got a couple of other projects I want to do. Jay Durthy, hello mate. Nice to see you there. Marco Rocco, you wish you were hobbying along, but you're working. Well, I'm glad that you choose to watch this while you're working, buddy. And France, that's not one I've seen many here. Jay Durthy, this one will probably go for like. Hello world, yeah, my Friday night, your Friday morning. That's generally how it works. Like most of my viewers are UK and US. It's really weird. Like, 'cause I have to do these to like obviously try and appease time, like to get people who view my channel. The vast majority of you are from the US and UK. They're my two primary people. Language barrier, fair enough. I know very little French. I know some. I am a chef, so I know very very basic, and the only time it would ever help me if I'm in a kitchen. Chris, nice to see you there from the UK, mate. Well, I am glad that like I can hear someone from the UK is listening from work. That makes me happy knowing that many of you have been in lockdown for a while. German, German, I know probably more of than I do French. I learnt German in year 8 and 9 at school, so my early high school years. So I know a bit of German. I probably know enough German that if I got lost in Germany, I could probably get help. France, not so much. France, I'd probably be able to get myself a job in a kitchen, and that would be all I'd be able to do in France. And Italy, Italy's the same as France. I know kitchen lingo. I do not know any actual Italian. I know the verde is green. That once again, that's just because I know what salsa verde is. Really is cool to see like just how far and wide like the community goes. Huh. Italian in France. I mean, that's like the best food in the world, then, isn't it? That's like pasta with like that splash of like the fine dining France. But yeah. Well, those at work, what has been your latest hobby project? Like, what have you been working on? Not necessarily what you're working on now, but what's been your latest hobby project that you're doing? Oh, nice. Finishing 30 Liberators, you just need the last 10. Awesome. I've got my 60 up there that I took to SAGT the other weekend. That was fun. Liberators, and 60 of them, that was a slog. And because I like punishment, I went from 60 Liberators to 50 Wildwood Rangers. It's actually 48 Wildwood Rangers. I'm going to use 2 of the old Wood Elf BSBs as banners for my Wildwood Ranger units in my Living City army. Awesome. It was fun. Like, it proved a few points about where the game is at for me as well. So my games were very one-sided. I had one close game, and that was probably against the army that was most equally matched to mine. I had also 2 games where I utterly crush my opponent. So if my opponent had a worse army than me, I crushed them. If my opponent had a better army than me, I lost pretty convincingly. And I think it sort of showed where the game is at. They're like, yes, there's a lot more competitive armies, there's a lot more middle tier, and there's probably only a few low tier armies. Now, and that's all interesting stuff, but it shows that like the gaps between like these 3 tiers, I think there are in Age of Sigmar at the moment, is really quite stark. So yeah, I got these 50 Wildwood Rangers to go. And then got the 48 Wildwood Rangers, the 2 BFBs from the old Wood Elves that I'm going to use as banners in them. And then got a Nomad Prince who I've converted out of the old Score the Falconer model I have. 40k ones, I have Necrons and Space Marines. Yeah, that just seems where the game's at the moment, is that your army has very strong counters that really wreck you as well. I find 2 things. It's funny, so competitively, I used to be really into Pokemon. This on a tangent, I know this is nerdy as hell, but I mean, we play Warhammer, come on now. But I find Warhammer at the moment is very much like Pokemon. So if you have a fire type, there is a water type for your army. So it's like, well, let's look at what's a good example of like a top tier army. I guess we can look at, let's say, Caradron, right? Caradron are a really good army at the moment. And they will beat a bunch of armies up, but they will also have that matchup against something that will just absolutely wreck them. Or IDK. Let's go with IDK, actually, because you talked that. So that IDK list you had, it has a bunch of mortal wounds, but it can't deal a lot of them. And I absolutely wrecked that with my Stormcast list because it did its hit and then just got stuck because they could not punch through a 30 block quick enough, and they had to spread the board in the mission we were playing. And I just pummeled it. Like, just stood my ground. I barely killed any of them, but I just stood my ground and I ground them down eventually. Anyway, that's where the game's at. It just has these hard counters in there at the moment, and it also has very distinct tiers of power. And like, that's how it is at the end of every edition. I mean, I think we're pretty sure now we're getting a new edition of Age of Sigmar soon, and it will right some of the wrongs that are currently going on. And that's fine. Like, it happens at the end of every edition. They all just become that little bit too bloated, and it's time for a change. And Age of Sigmar's not in a terrible, terrible place. It's not in its best spot, without a doubt. But I don't think it's in a bad spot either. I think it's in an okay spot. The thing that keeps Age of Sigmar going for people is I think it has the best models in any range. What I'm saying, in like gaming in general, I think Age of Sigmar has the best models in tabletop gaming in general. Like, I look at like even old subs like these Wildwood Rangers here, like knock out like tons of other miniature companies and even like 40k models just out the park. And that for me is what keeps me going in Age of Sigmar. Trying to continue his ogres. Yeah, it's hard to do a routine. Routine is definitely something, though, that can really get your hobby going. Like, just that. A cool trick is put paint on your brush every night. Don't have to paint a model, but put paint on your brush. The trick is, once paint's on your brush, you might as well put some paint on a model. But that's your target, is to sit, or, you can start with, like, I just need to sit at my desk for 10 minutes. Whether you actually paint anything or you just contemplate a color scheme or something, you're getting that little bit of hobby mojo there. And I know it's hard for people with, like, no tournaments, no events, no deadlines, no community, like, direct communication with a lot of people to sort of egg you on. It gets hard. And that's why I like to do these hobby hangouts, to try and get people to hobby that a little bit more with me. It also makes me hobby better. Pokemon. So my main time playing competitive Pokemon was Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and into Black and White. They were like my major years of like playing Pokemon. Yeah, just YouTube stuff in general gets me painting. Like, I find myself painting a lot, like battle reports and stuff like that from a bunch of different channels, like anyone. And it doesn't even have to be a game I understand. I watched like Lord of the Rings battle reports the other day, and I'm like, I like Lord of the Rings, but I have no idea how that game works. And I was just watching battle reports while painting Lord of the Rings. I do have some Haradrim down there. Maybe we'll see some Lord of the Rings one day on the channel. Wanderers, I think mid-tier. Like, I think there's enough punch in the list that, and like just the ability to ambush itself, being able to keep your pieces off the table safe and then land those charges in itself can be strong. I definitely don't think it's top tier competitive by any means. I'm playing, like, the plan is to do like the Super Durthu build as well in there, so you can make the Durthu who's got the Spear of Kurnos, the Inoke Artisan as well. So he's like a 2+ save with that hits and wounds on 2s with his sword with 4 attacks, rend 4, I think, on the charge. And hopefully you can get your Tree Lord Ancient out before that to put down trees near him, so he's got heaps of attacks from that as well. And then Durthu can also shoot, which means he can move forward because he's a character. So you can land a Durthu. Like, the idea is to try and land that Durthu into something juicy. And then all the Wildwood Rangers and the Wild Riders are all getting +2 to charge because they're in the battalion, plus they're just Cities of Sigmar, so they get +1 to charge from the battalion. They get +1 to charge from their Hornblowers. And then I've got Chronomatic Cogs in the list as well. So they potentially can get like +4 to cast, +4 to charge. Sorry. I definitely don't think useless, but it is definitely not top tier. Though it could surprise like some low model armies. Like, I'd really like to face like a Tzeentch army with this, because that Lord of Change, if they don't protect him well, is dead turn. Like, as soon as I land a hit, the Wildwood Rangers will mince me to Lord of Change in a turn. He will need more than Destiny Dice to save himself. Yeah, we're looking at getting some narrative campaigns, and we should be having like book reviews on the channel soon as well. Like, we've got the narrative channel, but I'm looking to like expand, not into like full on competitive, but at least like rules wise, like a bit more instructional stuff on the channel as well. I've got something planned with a friend of mine, which we're going to be doing, which is going to take a look at units that aren't used and try to make them used. So what's your view on the debate about FAQ from the other day and view on understanding of power level design? I'm assuming you're talking about like Warhammer Weekly, Warhammer Wednesday, Vincent Tom. So Games Workshop, like, for me, it's easy to appeal. Like, so I'll first of all put I guess, where I stand on how much I actually care. So that's a good point to like start off as. I'm a player who goes to tournaments with no intention to ever win the event. I'm going to try lists that I like the models of, and I want to do as best I can with those models that I like. Thank you, Happy Donald. But yeah, so that is my position on like how I view competitive. I am not a player that is ever going to try and win an event. I do not want to take a list that is going like, if that list happens to be a ton of models that I like, you know, if like Scourge Frontiers or some become the most competitive thing in the game, like, I'm going to be a top tier player by happenstance because that is an army I love. But so that is my view on how much, like, where my standpoint is on competitive play. That doesn't mean I don't care about it at all. I think having armies competitive is extremely important to not just competitive players, but actually to all forms of player. Because if an army is good in competitive play, it's good in all forms of play, generally. Now, anyway, so the chat of like the FAQ. I don't mind the change in the FAQ to how Daughters of Cain work. I think it changes how you build lists. I think it's maybe mistakenly made avatars a little bit useless, which is sad. Standalone avatars would be cool. However, I think the issue, what they've done here is they've now set a precedent, so this is how prayers should work. And while I agree with that, I think other armies, before they make that change, desperately need their own prayers changed in some way as well. So, yeah, understanding what they've done in design and have now set a precedent for things like that. Like, do they understand what they've now set and what they've now done? Do they understand how many war scrolls they affected with one change? I don't think they maybe did. Like, it's hard to say because, like, there's very few of the high up game designers in GW are tournament players. I look back at a video that good friends, May He Be Back One Day, Doom and Darkness did a while ago, where he talked about how they don't appear to have that middleman. So when you do games design or design anything, so I talk about this from my personal experience as a chef. So when I come up with a new menu, for instance, I'll come up with a new dish, whatever that dish may be. I will have my boss that I'll tell what my menu is, but I'll also have someone like the maitre d' who will be there to check me. Like, he will go, well, we don't sell wines to go with this, or this doesn't fit the feel of the restaurant. This isn't like how we feel. And I can go as crazy as I want with my own menu, and then the maitre d' or this other person, maybe my sous chef at the time, will check me. They will go, this is too crazy. You need to go back to the drawing board. And that's what I employ my sous chef to be like my second to question why I'm doing things, to think about stuff as well. And so they will check me, and then I'll go back and rechange my menu if they've gone, well, this is too crazy. Like, maybe you should tone it back. There's too many things on this plate. Maybe for the maitre d', you could do this back. And I have free reign to be creative as possible as a head chef. But I have these people checking my menu to make sure I don't go overboard. And so when it gets to the customer, I've had this, these people tell me these rules are too crazy. And so that's the people that GW need to employ. And playtesters are not that person. Playtesters are given a set of rules and told, do these work like we intend? You don't get asked as a playtester, is this rule broken? You get asked, we want a Terrorgeist, for instance, to be the most murderous thing on the tabletop. Does it fulfill that role when you've played your games with it? Tick yes. Done. That is a playtester's job. There needs to be like a rules designer and then a rules interpreter or something beneath them. Anyway, but yeah, or is one prey per model in the doc FAQ a rule coming for AOS 3? I think probably. Like, I would like to see prayers be bound by the same restrictions as spells. If any one of the two should be more freely activated, it should be spells, because spells have an interactivity within the game. Prayers do not. I like to see maybe like more armies with their prayers to get like rules for like divine like wrath or something of like, oh well, maybe if you roll a 1 to prayer, you can't pray the next turn or something like that. More rules to make prayers like more fairly attainable, because I don't think they're balanced in any way. I think prayers are one of the most unbalanced things in the game. But yeah, it'd be interesting. In the end, I'll probably play the game regardless. But what is everyone's thoughts on like how would you feel if prayers and like evocations became the same rules as magic, that you get 1 a turn? Don't get both, you don't get all, you get 1. What do people think? Be interested to know people's thoughts. Like RIP Corn in its current form, but what if Corn got changed? Like, I understand, like, that may mean that changes are needed for some factions. Like, Corn would need a big rework. Or it could be as simple as saying corner dual prayers. Like, they can still remain how they currently are. It's just the precedent is set for the generic is 1, maybe that's Khorne's thing, that they are dual prayers. I don't think an army like Daughters of Cain needs dual prayers when it's also got access to wizards on top. I say this as I've got a giant Daughters of Cain army over on the shelf there that needs to be painted. Would you be against it, though, if armies got changed to accommodate that change in the rules? Speaking of, like, new edition, there's, like, some really interesting, like... Yeah, and I think that's the thing of, like, make things simple. I think the correct way is to make them have to, like, abide by some laws. And that's not saying that, like, priests are overpowered. I think it's confusing when you go, oh, a wizard can only cast, like, even though a wizard's got access to all these different spells, they can only cast 1. You know, even though this wizard knows 2 spells that are generic, its own War Scroll spell and a Realm spell, it has 4 spells that it has access to, can only cast 1. But a priest knows 1, maybe 2 prayers on its War Scroll. So, say, for instance, previous FAQ daughters knew 2 prayers, of which they could pick 1. They then knew the Avatar prayer, which they could cast on top, and then had their prayer that they could pick, which they could cast on top of that. So, for some reason, 1 has 4 and can cast 1. 1 has 4 and can cast 3. Right. Yeah. Morning, Soren, all the way from Texas there, buddy. Hope you're doing well, mate. If you're watching too, don't forget to drop a like on the stream and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. That helps other people come join us in the fun here. how are you today, Soren? Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, I have no doubt, dude. In your particular line of work, I have no doubt it is a bit hectic. Yeah, see, I think that's the way maybe it should have gone. Donald, I think that is maybe the way Doc should have gone. Is everyone still able to activate the avatars plus and one prayer? Yeah, I have seen all the stuff about Texas. Because Texas is where the G-Dub warehouse is, and that's why like all the Warhammer's not getting out properly in America, correct? If I understand the information others have sort of told me. Really freaking sore on my left shoulder. I tore my trapezium after playing a weekend of Warhammer. So I'm on like some steroids for this old muscle here. Bending over a table all weekend was not good after having not done it. Tennessee. It was snowed in nonetheless. Isn't my knowledge of where Tennessee is that the Titans play there. That is my knowledge of Tennessee. It's like one of those places in America that like you know the name of, but you have no idea about anything else about it. You have those places in America from like outside the world that like you associate with stuff. In Tennessee, I don't know anything. With no association to click for me by knowing there's a football team there. Legitimately forgot that New Mexico was a thing the other day. I'm like, Texas is just like the bottom south part. I'm like, oh wait, there's New Mexico as well. No worries, Nick. Thank you for joining, mate. I will catch you soon. Yeah. Off to work today, Soren. reckon they're cool. I love the fact the battalion boxes are coming out. For me, like the ones that came out previously, what were they? You had the Cities of Sigmar one with Drusa Kraith. You had the Stormcast Eternals one. You had the Lumineth one with the Sharks. And there was one other, wasn't there? Oh, and the Chaos Chariots. I mean, models at a nice discounted price. But they're cool. Like, you got cool rules for a box set. Like, it came out battalion. I'd like to see more battalion boxes come out. Like, more small battalions. That's a great way to make me want to buy models you might not always buy. Because, like, who was playing Chaos Chariots? And now I've known multiple people in my local area that have gone out and bought the Chariot ones. But yeah, really excited, and I should have my start collecting videos up for those boxes in the next couple of days. I'll wait to see prices on them as well. I haven't seen prices on them yet. If they're decent price, well, if they're priced like the old ones, they'll be pretty decent. Is anyone going to pick up any of the new battalion boxes? Anyone catch anyone's eye? Yeah, any of those new boxes caught anyone's eyes? Because, yeah, the Cities one I probably don't need because I've already got plenty of Battle Mages and I've got a Hurricaneum behind me. But looking to maybe just grab another one to paint up a Luminarch. Yeah, the Death Pony one looks cool. Like, I was tempted by that one. Definitely do like that one. Like, that was a cool set of models. I'm like, I don't own any Cavalos Death Riders. I might like. Skaven one would be awesome. I have a pile of Skaven under here, actually. Right under this desk. Right here. Maybe at some point I'll just bite the bullet and put 60 clan rats out on my desk and paint them. Because I think once that's done and I can start painting all the cool Skaven stuff, I'll really want to do the army more. I think that's my big thing with Skaven is you got to get through those 60 clan rats so you've got that base army done. But I found that's been a really helpful thing lately with like painting armies. It's just punching at that big block of troops in the middle of your force first, and then everything just comes together so quickly after that. Like with the Stormcast one, as soon as I got those Liberators done, like everything was just done like that. The OBR one is, I think, the most tempting out of all of them. Be interested in the cost on the cities one though. Like the 2 kits, if that's like for 1.4, 1.25, sort of the cost of like the 2 boxes, I think that's a really good one. That could be really good value in that. I love Clan Scryer, but I really like having like Horde of Rats as well. Skaven, I'll definitely be like Scryer Molder will be my primary things. They're definitely the ones I like the most. I'm not much of a Pestilence fan. I do have where are they? I'll post a picture of the Skaven model I've actually painted up already for, that was my test model for my scheme, in our Discord, which should be linked in the video. Where is he? He's somewhere. There he is. He's behind my books. I will post up a picture of my test model for my Skaven force, and you guys can let me know what you think. Check him up in the Discord. So, just threw my Arch Warlock up in the Discord if you'd like to have a look on the scheme I'm going for with my Skaven. Who knows, if enough people like it, maybe we'll paint them up next. Probably not next. It'll be, I think it's going to be Lumineth next now. Maybe after that. But yeah. Oh, there's an ant on my desk. You. Go away, ant. We squish ants because that was a fire ant, and fire ants hurt when they bite you. They're called fire ants, not because of their red color, but because they feel like fire when they bite you. Yeah. Hmm. I really did enjoy painting that scary model. I should go back and paint like an actual army for it. We'll get to them eventually. Same thing as so many armies. I've got 2,000 points of KO and Daughters of Cain sitting over there needing paint. Gonna have like a ton of Lumineth to paint up. It never ends. Never ends of stuff to paint. Which is good. It keeps me busy. But yeah. Yeah. So what are people's next hobby thing? What are you going to work on next? What's that next hobby project that people are eyeing up? What's that next hobby project you got lined up? For me, it's definitely going to be some Lumineth. At some point, I got to get building and painting a ton of terrain because we're running a event here up in my local area. in November, so I got to get prepping for that. Probably don't have until June before I need to start prepping. So there'll be a load of terrain that needs to get painted. Right now you're painting 3 stone horns, and you're going to finish your black coach, then 8 more. Yep, know that feeling, sorry, when it's just like I've got a list of stuff to do. Oh, nice. Walt Lightning Cannon, Scaven Rattling Gun, Stormcaster, Gav Bomb, awesome. Then 6 guns, 6 right. Yeah, it just never ends, does it, Soren? There's a pile of stuff that just needs to be painted. Leandro, nice. I'm glad that like more people are going to go try it and play the Stormkeep Patrol. I think it's fun. You should go check out the episode if you're looking for a shooting style of that list. Russ Veal from Facehammer put up a really cool list on his show with Warhammer Weekly on the best list you're not playing, which was really cool, which I'm really tempted to go try out. I've got a 24-hour challenge that I've got to do that I've booked in. It's supposed to be 2,000 points of Stormcast. So oh, nice, good job, Soren. If you have anything you're doing for a raffle or anything like that, Soren, feel free to share on the pages and Discord. Share away, buddy. Let me know what I can do. If it's a charity thing, always happy to help. It's like raffle tickets or something that, I can help sell tickets from. Let me know what I can do to help. Something I'm going to be doing at my tournament. And so, as those who are in the Discord or like even follow my social media, like my older sister recently lost her battle with brain cancer. Just the other couple of weeks ago now, and we'll be doing a cool for Miss Rantathon. Awesome. Yeah, Max knows I'll share that all around. But yeah, so my sister recently lost a battle, so we're going to be doing a Daughters of Cain army up. Going to be doing a giveaway of some Daughters of Cain stuff at my tournament of like for raffle tickets and stuff. Do some Harkuron giveaway. I have seen the rumors. Apparently, it's going to be Destruction and Stormcast, and apparently the Stormcast are going to be knights, Bretonnian inspired. I have seen the like Bretonnian knights, and I am all up for mounted Stormcast as an army. I mean, could we get a proper release of the Extremis Chamber, maybe, please? or maybe some like armored griff charges. So like rather than like fast griff charges, like some really heavy armored griff charges would be cool. There's nothing more. This is all rumors that I've heard. Like I've heard them like third hand myself. So all rumor, no actual like proof in any way that this is what is a thing. It's just a rumor that's popped up. That's my terrible powdered rich flesh. I should. Like, it would be really cool if that was the thing that was happening. Like, I'm all for that. Oh, but yeah, like, that would be cool. Like, some nightly Stormcast. Yeah. Mate, this in no way. I am no way tied. One of the people tied to GW. I know absolutely nothing. Yeah, like I've seen people like get into Stormcast like just through needing like those head swaps out. I get that like the masking passive is not everyone's cup of tea. Masking passive is what the Stormcast helmet is called, by the way. The subtle dude, thank you very much for the donation there, mate. That is much appreciated, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, the channel is slowly growing. Like liking the videos and liking live streams and all that helps more than you could ever possibly know anyone. A comment and all that sort of stuff. Just a like and a comment, it does more than you think. The more things that get liked and the more comments that appear, the more times this channel gets shared around and all those YouTube things. YouTube likes it. It's why I try to respond to everyone because it creates conversation, which then, you know, creates more. But yeah, as you would expect with like current life situations, I've not been live as much as I would have liked. We're aiming to be live Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday nights every week. Wednesdays will generally be pretty short and sharp. And then Friday and Sunday nights, I'll be able to do a lot longer. yeah. But yeah, I have nothing more. That is all I've seen. Apparently, there was a thing with when I haven't actually watched the show where they talk about the rumor. I don't know where it came from, but I'm pretty sure it was on one of Rob, the Honest Wargamer's streams where they talked about it. So, yeah. May I ask, a subtle dude, what are your favorite videos on the channel? That's fine, Reagan Avalon. Like, I certainly can see that, like the design aesthetic. I can't send YouTube links in the chat, but Leonardo, if you're on our Discord, I can pop up the video in the Friends of Cinderful thing. Give me a sec. All right, I will put it in the Discord, Leonardo, in the Friends of Cinderful thing feed in Discord for you. So it's the last thing I posted in there. It's like a whole video you're going to have to like skip through a bit, but it is one of the lists that Russ puts out in their show, which is pretty much entitled like the best list you aren't playing. It's a cool Stormkeep Patrol list with like, it's actually a double Stormkeep Patrol list, which is really cool. With like the two taking Stormkeep Patrol, then taking Van Breck's one as well. Yeah, I try to like make my videos very basic. Like, there's a lot of stuff where you can go into like high tactical analysis, and that ain't me. I like putting pretty models on the table and trying to do my best with them. No worries, Donald. Thank you very much for joining us, Donald. Much appreciated chatting. That's a cool thing. Like tabletop RPGs, like like the amount of times like when I was younger, you'd sit in your local Games Workshop store and you have people. Yeah, Nurgle, I'm gonna have a bit of a read on. I haven't really read. I've been too busy being all excited about the cities stuff, as you might expect. You know. Might play some Scourge Privateers in Haish. See what I can make of them. Warhammer Fantasy, I was Wood Elves. Wood Elves were my first true love. Yeah, I'm looking forward to like having a look through these battalions and seeing what I can do with them. Really interested to see what I can do with that city though, because like you get +1 to cast. Like you can take the one I was looking at in the city. You make a Hurricane in the city one. You can make him like a 2 cast +2 to cast wizard. with a few of the different things in the city. And he also busts collegiate arcane. He also busts like his shooting. So I'm thinking like maybe taking some sentinels in there. I really like cities that it's like it is all together. It is really interesting, like building armies with Cities of Sigmar. Yeah, the new battalion rules have leaked for all of them. Chris, you could search around on the various Facebook groups and find them. Cities also have an entirely new city in the book for Realm of Light. Here's me hoping we get some silent ones for the new edition. Insectoid bug people for destruction, please. Well, if you can wait one more day, there will be like the full rules spoken out by a man reads books, Guerrilla Miniature Games. He will read everything out word for word, which is awesome. Yeah, no. Like he knows he knows what he is. That is who he is. And Chris, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I'll be doing videos on all of the all of the box sets as like start collecting videos, like trying to make an army out of them. Arnold Gans, welcome on the fine early Saturday afternoon. Saturday. Isn't Friday over there? And Hive Time Red, how am I? I am good, thanks. How are you, mate? Also, I appreciate the Steelix in the picture. I'm a big fan of Steelix. That is a cool icon you have there. Arnold, yeah, I'm like, you're not from one of the many places that are in front of me in time, and most of them would not be at that time of the day. You'd have to be in like Samoa for it to be Saturday. Red, that's good, mate. Good to hear. What are we all hobbying on? And I hope you feel better soon, Arnold. That sucks, buddy. There's nothing worse than being sick. Someone with ADHD, I hate sitting and like doing nothing, and being sick means that's exactly what I do. So it really, really annoys me being sick. Yeah. That is the world we live in at the moment. So, well, I hope it is not that, buddy. I hope you just have something else, whatever else. Well, something better than that. Either way, get well soon. 10 Wolfguard Terminators is your hobby at the moment. That's awesome, man. I really do like the specialist, the like specialist Space Wolf kits. Them, the Wolfen, just cool. Even the upgrade sprues, like the Grey Hunters, are fun. I only ever had to have it up my nose once. We only ever had to go. The only time, like, I'm pretty lucky. So where I am in Australia, I come from Adelaide, which is in South Australia. So I'm really lucky with stuff like we don't get a lot of international flights directly in. So a lot of people with, like, Australia didn't really have a big breakout of COVID. Like, our worst breakout was like 500 cases. But to put it into perspective, like, very, very small compared to a lot of places in the world. And so where I am, Adelaide, like, a lot of people stop over in like Melbourne and Sydney before they come to where I am. So a lot of the like cases were caught in those cities and hotel quarantined over there before they ever got to Adelaide. So like where I am, we're pretty lucky. Like, I'm back to normal life. As of the 31st of this month, like, there are 0 restrictions in place where I am, which is awesome. There is light at the end of the tunnel for everywhere in the world. Like, that's all I can say. Like, even like. And Rat, nice to see you there, buddy. I think that's Anyway, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It does get better. Make no mistake, I went through a lockdown like everyone else in the world, and it sucks. I know exactly how lockdowns feel. I don't know how like some people have gone through this long with lockdown and stuff, but it sucks. I know exactly how it feels. Still, we still did have all the scares. Hmm. Right. Man possessed, maybe possessed by probably energy drink and thoughts of Warhammer. No. I just enjoy doing what I do. That's why I do it a lot. Me, I'm working on some Wild Rangers at the moment. I'm currently painting their tunics here, like the inside part here on their cloaks. So just here in between like the loincloth and the cape. Just doing some highlighting. So, but yeah. So people know there is no like GW preview, so we won't be doing a Saturday hangout this week. We'll be doing our normal Sunday hangout though on Sunday evening. So about this time, where we will go for a lot longer on Sunday rather than probably finishing up in the next. Probably finishing up soonish once I've done this stage of all my models. So probably another 10, 15. But yeah, Sunday night. So this time, 2 days away, wherever you are in the world. We'll be doing a live stream then as well. What is my opinion of the Lumineth coming out? Good, but I think people may be overreacting a little bit to them, like power-wise, I guess. Like last Lumineth came out, and they're definitely not like an army that came out and are like taking tournaments left, right, and center. No, I have some serious hard counters. But cool. I think definitely got the. A lot of the new stuff seems to hit very hard, but can't take a punch. And that is Lumineth in general, really. Like a Shining Company is a major thing Lumineth need to not die. Yeah, exactly. Like Petrifex Bone Reapers like changed the whole game, or like Zinch when they first came out with like Change Host or Slanesh or Feck. Like, I don't think Lumineth are at that level. I think half the hatred of Lumineth is just because they got a second release so quick. and they're not what some people wanted. Like some people wanted just true high elves, and that is not what we got, which I'm fine with. For me, I like going on the journey, going like learning about all the new races and all that sort of stuff. So that's really what I enjoy. The Flat Quivers is very elf though. The Flat Quivers is very GW elf. Like Wood Elves have had those. Wood Elves, High Elves, and Dark Elves have had Flat Quivers forever. Where is it? Do I have a Wood Elf? I've got some Blade Guard up there, and they've got the Flat Quivers. Skaven will come. Like Skaven will 100% be coming. I think from fantasy, they are the one thing that are not going to change at all. Skaven are a completely unique aesthetic that GW do not need to change. And yeah, like I completely think Lumineth are very Eldar. It might be why I like them, because I like Eldar a lot. Eldar are my like 40k favorite army. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me for this evening. I'm all done with that stage for my Lumineth. Not Lumineth. Wrong thing. For my Wanderers. And we will be back Sunday night for another live stream, okay? And I will see you all then. Thank you all for watching. Special shout out to everyone who supports the channel via Patreon and YouTube members, and to everyone who helps support the channel financially, however you do it, whether it's donations, whatever. Thank you so much. It means a ton. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well. And most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.